Hello, everyone. I'm thankful you made your way back to another episode of Joe in the Know. And today's episode is something a little different. It's not something that I had planned to do or had in my mind, but sometimes life presents itself and we roll with what we've got. And I'll kind of give the backstory on what brought this on. As mentioned in previous videos, I'm dealing with some broke toes and some major swelling in my foot, so it's put me down for a while. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of couch ridden, and it's been really hard on me. I like to be active and out moving about and doing things, and this has put a damper on that. So I was listening to some music videos, and I was listening to Linkin Park's "Giving Up," and I was watching a live version of that, and Chester Bennington, you could really see when he was singing that song, they're performers, so they're out there working the crowd, performing what they're saying, but in that particular song, I could see the actual pain that he was going through, and listening to the words of the song in a different way than I ever have before, and knowing the outcome of how his situation transpired, and it just hit me different. It really it had a tremendous impact on me, and it brought back some memories through my own life. Luckily, for me personally, I've not had to deal with those type of thoughts. I've been depressed before. I've dealt with small bouts of depression, maybe, but nothing to that extent, thank God. But it made me think of other situations and some of my friends. Hey, sorry about that. My camera just cut off on me for some reason. I don't really know why, but I was talking about watching the Chester Bennington video, the emotion that he was displaying in that song, and knowing how that turned out. And it made me think about experiences I've had with my friends and people that I've known. I'll give a particular example. I'm not going to mention his name or anything, or anybody's name in this, but out of respect for them and people that may know them, their family, other friends. But I used to go out. I wasn't doing things I was supposed to do. I wasn't doing like illegal things, but I would go out and party and drink, and I was pretty hardcore doing that type of thing in my young 20s. And a guy that I'd been to school with from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, we had kind of met back up and started hanging out again. And he didn't really, knowing how it ended, we were kind of all doing the same things. We were going out, having fun, drinking more than we should. And one night, a couple of months after we were hanging out and whatnot, we left. It was a typical night. We left. All of us kind of split up. I was with my roommates that I was living with, and we went to go get a bite to eat. And while we were eating, I received a phone call from our other friend. My phone, I didn't notice it at the time, but my phone had rang, and we were eating. As we were leaving, I noticed that he had called. Obviously, it was pretty late at this point. It was about 2:30, I would say, so I was trying not to call him, wake him up, or it may have been later than that. It may have been around 3, but I remember thinking, well, I'll just call him later. It's pretty late now. He may be asleep or whatever. And the next morning, when I woke up, I had several missed calls from other friends and texts on my phone saying that that individual had taken his life that night. And that was something that was very difficult for me, because of the obvious situation. That took me a long time to work through and be able to get over, because the way I was looking at it is, hey, he called me and I could have helped him. I could have been there for him. And instead, I didn't answer the phone or I didn't call him back. Would that have changed had I done something different? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It may have changed something, it may not, but I'll never know the answer to that because I didn't answer the phone. He also called some of our other friends. One of them did end up answering, and he alluded to the fact of what was going on or what he may be planning to do. That friend went over there and found him. He obviously had taken his life. So the purpose in this story is just be aware of what's going on. You know, I hadn't been hanging out with him much over the recent years. We weren't best friends, but like I said, we've known each other all through school. We kind of started hanging out again and growing a little closer, but he never made any mention of anything. He didn't display a lot of the warning signs of about talking about that type of thing. He never talked about wanting to hurt himself, feeling useless, to me anyway. He wasn't giving things away. He wasn't acting unusual. There was one thing that he did do. I'm not sure if it was that night or the week or so prior, but I do have a memory of him getting exceptionally intoxicated, being belligerent, trying to entice people to fight him, being aggressive toward people, and that was something that was very out of character for him. He was not that kind of person. And looking back on that now, that was a warning sign that kind of maybe I could have noticed, but we didn't notice that type of thing. Obviously, because of our situation, we weren't in much shape to notice that because we were in a pretty bad state ourselves, so we weren't paying attention to that. And that's just something to be aware of. That one was hard on me, and watching that video, I was seeing his pain, and it kind of brought that back up, and I felt like I needed to kind of share that story, maybe get it off of my chest, because I haven't really told this story to anyone. Get that off of my chest, and hopefully it's going to help somebody. Maybe it'll help us to be more cognizant of what's going on around us with other individuals. We'll pay more attention, or maybe we need help ourselves, and this will just be one of those things that helps push us toward doing what we need to do. And if you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to somebody. Just be honest. Be honest. And if somebody does reach out to you, be an active listener. Be a resource that they feel comfortable talking to. They're reaching out for you. It may be a situation where, hey, this is what I'm planning to do. All I need is somebody to be there, or I just need somebody to talk to, somebody to smile at me. I read a book. I think the guy's name was Kevin Hines, maybe. Cracked, Not Broken, I think was the title of it. I used to have it. I bought it, but I loaned it out to a teenage kid and never got it back. But he was talking about he was going to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he ended up doing that and surviving, which is a miracle in and of itself. But he was going to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he was thinking, if one person will just acknowledge me, smile at me, maybe I won't do this. But as he was walking out there, nobody acknowledged him. Nobody smiled at him. Just something simple. As you're passing somebody, just smile, nod. How are you? Something like that. That could be the change. That could be the catalyst that springs somebody to seek help, want to confide in you, and save their life ultimately. So I guess that was the main purpose in this video, is just, if you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out. At the end of this video, I'm going to include some information, phone numbers, hotlines. Obviously, if you need immediate help, call 911, get help. If you know somebody that needs immediate help, call 911, get them some help. If I think 988, that's a hotline number for people that are having suicidal thoughts. So like I said, at the end of the video, I'll have some information there that'll hopefully be some resources for you. But I also want to discuss some statistics here. This is from 2017. This is just stuff that I found that is probably higher after 2020, after everything that went on that year. Seemed like mental health kind of spiraled out of control after that. And I don't know if that's that we are experiencing a mental health crisis more than we were in generations past, or if we're just more attuned to it, more open to talk about it. I don't know what that is, but it seems to be more prevalent nowadays. So 47,173 Americans died by suicide in 2017. That was the 10th leading cause of death. Suicide was the second leading cause of death in people ages 10 to 34. So our youth, our teenagers, people in their 20s, young 30s, probably they feel like they have lost their purpose. They don't know what they want to do with their life. There's bad things going on social media all the time. They're hearing bad things, and it gets to them. So our younger generations seem to be the ones that this is impacting more than anyone else. On average, one person dies by suicide every 11 minutes in the United States. One in every 11 minutes. 50% of people in the U.S. know someone who has died by suicide in their lifetime. So 50% of people. Me personally, I've known, just off the top of my head, 7, maybe 8 people, which is a high number, especially since 50% of people know one person that has. I think these are people that I've known that were either family or friends, acquaintances that I've known personally. Drug and alcohol use seems to be, that's a hard correlating factor with suicide. And in the area I live, drug and alcohol abuse are pretty widespread. So I think that contributes to that. That's a major contributing factor there. 10.5% of adults in the U.S. 18 to 25 had serious suicidal thoughts in 2017. So 1 out of 10 people, 18 to 25, had suicidal thoughts in the year 2017. Members of the LGBTQ plus community, 5 times more likely to attempt suicide. And in a national study, 40% of transgender adults reported having suicide attempt. 92% of these individuals reported having attempted suicide by the age 25. There's lots of factors that go into that specific demographic. I'm not going to get into that in this video. That may be something for a later video. I don't know if I even want to touch on that or get into that subject, but this video is just to get information out there, being aware, being an active listener. If somebody confides in us with information, we need to take it serious. And if it's us going through this, we need to take it serious. Tell somebody about what's going on in our life. Tell somebody about what we're thinking, what we're planning to do. Be honest about it. Get the help that we need. That's what this is all about. That's what this channel is about, is uplifting, empowering, knowledge, me getting information from people. Obviously right now I'm doing a lot more videos than I'd ever planned on doing of me talking, but I've kind of been couch-ridden and broken, so this has just been an opportunity for me to start doing things that interest me and kind of talking to people. But please don't hesitate to reach out to someone if you're going through anything. Reach out to me. I'll do my best to help you out in any way that I can. Be a listening ear, if nothing else. Get you information, get you up with somebody that can help you out. That's what we need to do. We all need to take care of each other, take care of ourselves. Strive to be a better version of ourselves every single day. That's what we need to do. I appreciate you sticking it out with me, and stay tuned to the end of this video for the resources. Thank you.